everyone. This is Jeanette Ipapo-Tuason, the author of Chic Driven and co-founder of Tuason Racing, and we're here at Chic Chats to give you your best life in bullet points. So this is the second episode of the year, and we're still in the theme of rocking 2021. So a lot of people last in the last episode we did vision boarding, and then the second part that I feel that is very important is for of course learning how to plan. You know, during January, we have all our New Year's resolution and planning, and we have our new planners, which gets abandoned mga March, diba? March we stop writing on them. So today we brought in an expert on planning, and they've been giving us super nice planners that helps us to stay motivated for planning and activating the whole year. So today we want to welcome the creator of Belle de Jour Power Planners, Darlyn Ty-Nilo. Welcome, Dar.
Hi, thank you for inviting me, Janet.
Yeah,
I'm
thank you
excited
for
to be
joining us.
here.
We're super excited because planning is one of my expertise, but sometimes pagdating nga ng March yung planner ko hindi ko na siya ginagamit, 'di ba? Sayang ang bili. So,
So,
tell us about your journey. Tell us about your journey. I know you're an entrepreneur. So, how did Belle de Jour start?
well, it actually started around 15 years ago. 15 years na si Belle de Jour. So super dalaga na siya. It was really a soul-searching part on my end because I was working in the corporate world and I was trying to understand parang what is it in parang I felt kasi like a failure during that time. I didn't succeed in the corporate world, and then I was like looking back, when was the time that I really felt successful? So that's one important lesson, that parang you always have to anchor on your success stories, like the last
Mhm.
time I felt successful. So when I went look back, I remembered that one of the things that I had was a paper planner. And to think that as early as high school, I played around already with the Palm Pilot na knockoff because my dad is actually a super techie geek person.
Okay.
So we don't have like the high-end stuff, but he has
Okay.
the refurbished version, yung mga, and then the knockoff version. So actually, I had my early introduction with digital planning. But it
Mm.
work out kasi I went back talaga with paper planning because there's really the tangible feeling that's very tactile. And then
Mhm.
an additional research that I was able to do was that when you're doing writing things with your hand, you actually remember things more. There's more connections in your brain. The reticular activating system is more active when you're writing
After,
down
I
versus
agree with that.
typing. So yun
Yes.
yung all those things that there's so many research on that. And it made me realize na oo nga no, I stopped using paper planner when I started working because that's my first corporate job. And then
Okay.
everybody was using like all the parang the software, diba? So
Mhm.
everybody's like that. So that's a culture. So and I realized that maybe it wasn't how I wasn't able to really manage my time well. But
Okay.
actually, the interesting thing, Janet, about it is that it wasn't even about time management at all. So when
Okay.
actually doing goal planning, it seems to most people, like a lot of our community members, and before I really look at planning or organizing, like filling up your planner, like schedules, but it's really all about connecting to yourself. Because if
Okay.
you keep on continuing writing things down, it's
Mhm.
very difficult not to connect to your true self or to the part of yourself that really needs to come out.
Okay.
So what
What's
happened actually,
Yeah.
my story with that, sorry, ang tagal ko, with the
Go
corporate
ahead.
world, I realized that it wasn't for me. The reason it
Okay.
didn't work out among is wasn't really the time, me not being able to manage my time, because I was working 14 hours a day.
Wow.
Yun yung corporate world, eh, 'di ba? The traditional that you go there, you work overtime kasi you have
Uh-huh.
meetings the whole day, and then you have to overtime to be able to finish the work. And that's the
Yeah.
culture. So I was doing all of these things, and yet I wasn't getting things done. But I mean, I was getting things done, but it didn't hit the spot, the feeling
Yeah.
of fulfillment.
Yes.
And the reason for that is because I realized during that process while I was working, I stopped connecting to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And to the point,
Okay.
I wasn't at all 100% honest with how I was feeling while I was working,
Okay.
until
So what
it
was
piled up na parang, as in, it bottled things up talaga for me.
okay? So was it like a aha moment? As in when you were working the corporate world, you decided, okay, I don't want to do this. I want to go do something else. And was making the planner was your first idea, or what was the process that it started, or this or the problem that you were trying to solve?
It wasn't as easy as that. It wasn't
Okay.
that aha moment wherein there's like clarity.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's also a lot of expectations with people, with themselves, na dapat if I know this is right for me, I know kaagad. So for
Yeah.
me, it wasn't like that at all. It was really a long process. Like
Okay.
after I left the corporate world, I joined the publishing company, and then I
Okay.
decided to start this business because I wanted to make a planner for myself. And then when I
Okay.
decided to make that, I read also time management principles and other books that I used, the principles of which I used in designing the planner. And my friend supported me to jumpstart the business. So that's the story on
Okay.
how I started. But I was doing two jobs. I was doing my publishing job, and I was doing this entrepreneurship job.
Okay.
And yet, despite being successful, meaning profitable in year one, there was still a part of myself that wanted to go back to corporate world because I had a chip in my shoulder that I didn't
Okay.
succeed.
Okay.
So, first 2 years, parang whenever I get headhunted, or like people would still ask that, there's an opening here in this company, in our company, do you want to apply? And I would still go. It
Okay.
was after an interview with this big company when the HR person was asking me where I would want to be 5 years from now, that I realized that although it was advanced, I really wanted to become an entrepreneur. That
Okay.
I just felt insecure with my skills and what I knew since I was like maybe a year off college, that parang I felt that I didn't have what it takes to succeed as an entrepreneur. So I wanted to get that from the corporate world.
Oh, okay.
So the
So,
click lang siya, but tingnan mo, it took maybe 1 to 2 years after I
okay.
left before everything. Okay, yes, this is it.
So you started with making the planner. So a
Yes,
physical paper planner.
physical
And
paper
then
plan.
so what how did you distribute it? What was your game plan?
The game plan, I didn't have that many friends. Like I was doing the numbers. So I
Okay.
graduated with business and accountancy. So I'm very particular with numbers. I did the number crunching, and I felt like I needed 1,500 to make the unit cost more worthwhile or profitable. Otherwise, at 1,000, it's like a net loss for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked some support from friends to sponsor that last 500. And in terms of distribution, there was no concrete plan, except by chance, or I don't know if you believe in luck, we were pitching to Sandra Ramos for one of the companies that she was handling during that time, because the BDJ planner has coupons from different brand partners. So even the
Okay.
first year, we had fashion brands, we had restaurant brands, we had beauty brands in the planner targeted for women. So when she heard about the concept, because we were pitching for a coupon, she said, "No, I'll help you with National Bookstore." And that
Mm-hmm.
was the beginning of our distribution. So medyo I went in without a super concrete plan. It's just that I was doing the numbers that I need to sell this much so that it
Yes.
will be profitable. And I remember it was funny because I was trying to think, list down people. How many people do I know? Para nabentahan ko ng planner. And obviously, I don't have 1,000 friends. Tapos hindi pa ganun ka strong yung Facebook. But we got lucky and that the product resonated really fast. And we got featured in different newspaper articles because we were a unique product during that time. And we hope to be still unique until now, but it was something very novel that time talaga. So people were writing articles about it. Paper newspapers, I wish was able to keep at least one that was like 15 years ago. But that's jump started everything for me.
So what do you think made the planner different from the regular planners that you see in the market?
Number one is the pages inside the planner. We actually have special pages that asks you about your goals for the year. Most
Okay.
of the planners that we have out there is just about your weekly schedule, your monthly schedule. But one of the beliefs of our company is really grounding your life by based on design. So you live by
Okay.
design, not by default. So how do you do
Okay.
that? You have to figure out what do you want first. Whether or not it's realistic for now, don't edit
Mhm.
yourself first. Just write down what do you want, what brings you joy, what makes you happy.
Okay.
Just
What
write
makes you
things
happy?
down. Yes, sobrang important what makes you happy. Um,
Okay.
I think this pandemic is reminding us to go back to the basics and figuring
Okay.
out what sparks joy. If I
Oo
can
nga,
borrow the
according to
phrase
ano,
from Marie Kondo.
may
Yeah.
kondo.
But applied to goal setting and applied to living your life to the fullest. How do you design a life of joy? How do you create a life that you love? So that's really the focus of the first few pages of our planner. Just being able to write that down and no judgments, no right or wrong, and it's okay if you cross out something. Because some people
Okay.
also like, I don't want, if I write this and then I change my mind, I don't want to cross it out. So what we
Okay.
always encourage is don't, it's okay, cross it out. That you should be able to document your journey that originally I wanted an apple, now I wanted an orange. I
Okay.
mean, no one's gonna see it
Yes.
unless you
So
show it.
it's like the planner is some sort of journal also. So it's
Hmm.
like a planner and journal. So does it
Yes.
have space for, thoughts that come into the day, or are there questions that, because there are some books like the Stoic books that have specific questions or specific meditations that you have to kind of reflect on. Is it the same like that?
Every month meron kaming we have an activity worksheet that we hope the users actually use to
Okay.
be able to process whatever's going on in their life. We
Okay.
also have affirmations every week. This spaces, it's limited. I will
Okay.
be straightforward about it. And there's a reason for it. Because one of the biggest rules in time management is to stop looking at time as intangible, number one, or limitless. Because
Oh,
regardless of who we are,
yes.
and whatever state, no matter how superwoman, superman you are, you still have 24 hours in a day. That's
That's
very
right. And it's always
tangible.
ticking. And it's
It's
always
always
ticking.
exactly. It's 24 hours. It's very specific. It's very tangible. If you do not
Okay.
try to put it in a time that's limited, you will keep on putting to-do lists and tasks and
Okay.
schedules and projects within your day or within your week or even within your month. Then you end up not achieving half of these things. Then you
Okay.
feel bad that, shucks, I'm so not good enough because I cannot even finish my task list. Then you go into
Mm-hmm.
this vicious cycle of beating yourself up and it does not
Mm,
help you achieve things in a better way.
okay.
So you have to be
S-
able to start with,
Okay,
at the
so
very least, ganon,
yeah.
very
S-
tangible.
So let's say, for example, you're saying that the planner started 15 years ago and it had dalaging ding na siya ngayon. Um, what would you say was the one of the biggest learnings that you have in terms of planning or journaling through this all this 15 years?
With planning, it's always important to not judge yourself. It's always important to tell yourself that it's okay to change your mind. And
Mm-hmm.
it's always important to have these difficult conversations with yourself, because
Okay.
these difficult conversations are the key for you to get to know yourself better, understand
Um,
yourself better, and that will help you rework or work towards your goals, because the goals, our goals, will only get done, or you will achieve it only if you have that understanding
of
of
yourself.
yourself. Yes. So parang hindi siya yung chamba na, okay, na-achieve ko yung goals ko. It's not like winning the lottery. You can actually
Okay.
design that you can
Okay.
achieve your goals, but it starts with the most important tool. And the most
Mm-hmm.
important tool is yourself.
Okay. So is there a specific structure or a formula in making better plans that will be achieved for you?
For me, my best tip is, as I shared, the number one is really to connect to yourself. Just write down whatever possibilities. Like, you can practice possibilities thinking. So, possibilities thinking is sometimes, kasi there are people na mas madali sa kanila mag-think of possibilities. And there are some people na mas nahihirapan sila. So, if you practice possibilities thinking, it doesn't mean that you just get out of your head na, ay, hindi naman itong mangyayari. So, ayoko na siya sulat. Gets na parang may fear of failure na when I write it down,
Mm,
it's set in stone. And then if I don't get to do it, I'm a failure. So, just removing that mindset and just focusing of different possibilities. If you keep on practicing possibilities thinking, you will see that you will open up to more ideas in terms of achieving your goals, and even understanding why you want certain goals. So number one is the possibilities thinking. Number two, yung what I sort of touch upon, is understanding yourself and the whys. So you keep on
okay.
asking yourself, why this goal? What about this goal is so important that I need to achieve it? What will I get when I achieve it? Diba? Kasi sometimes, when we write down our goals, it's actually not the end goal, but rather a means goal. A means
Okay.
goal is something like, I want to be able to travel the world. Okay. So there's a lot of people who has that as a goal. But what about it that really makes you want that goal? So an end goal could look like, with that goal, could look like, I want to have different beautiful experiences that are unique, that
Okay.
maybe with a family or maybe with myself. Yeah, so parang it's, so traveling is a means to that end. It's not necessarily,
Oh,
okay, if you're a flight attendant, you can travel all over the world, right? But you don't get to experience the different places or the different culture. Or even if you're a
mm,
successful businessman wherein you're traveling all over the world. Of course, this is like pre-pandemic, right? Um, but you don't necessarily, I hear a lot of businessmen, yeah, I go here, there, but technically I don't, I just see the office. The office of
okay.
my client or the headquarters there, and then I go back to the airport or the hotel and then go back home. So they don't get to experience the place even if they travel around the world. So this is for me a good example of differentiating the means goal and the ends goal, because if you keep on focusing on the means or how you're gonna do things, it might just limit you, and
Okay.
when you reach it, it won't give you the satisfaction, because
Okay.
it's not the one that your heart longs for. What you were longing
So,
for is this
yeah.
beautiful experience, not the traveling per se.
So how do you think, can we solve that problem na manyanya, hindi na pala manyanya, yung
Manana.
sa umpisa lang
Oo,
magaling.
yeah.
So how does Belle de Jour work on that? Na we continuously work and plan and journal throughout the year.
For us, you really need a support system. We have a community online, so that's very
Okay.
important. Kasi it's very easy to fall astray. Na mag-stop mag-journaling, just like with any habit, just like with any goal, and just like the big lessons of this pandemic, that we cannot survive this alone. We have to be able to
Okay.
survive it together. So you have to have your support system, and there has to be like forgiveness in yourself that it's okay. Like I don't have to plan a certain way exactly the
Mm-hmm.
same from January hanggang December for the whole 12 months. In January, you can do the scheduling, you can do tasking. In February, if you feel like you're a bit stressed, you can just do journaling your thoughts for the day. If you don't want to look for at your planner for 1 week because you're just so stressed, then
Mm-hmm.
allow for it. Then just reuse that part for something else. So
Okay.
what I do, like sometimes I would have gap weeks because I do fall into that that setup na parang shucks, I'm so overwhelmed. I don't want to look at my planner because I'm just so
Okay.
overwhelmed. So there would be gap weeks, and like my schedule would just be in the monthly, so I don't get to use the weekly. So I would write down either the emotions I was feeling that week, or even like other random ideas of the pages. Like one thing I started this pandemic is a learning spread. Like I was
Okay.
just kasi diba nauso sobrang daming mga webinars and all of these
Mm-hmm.
courses. So I would sign up and I would write them down so that I would remember to take the classes that I registered to. Siyempre kasi minsan ang dami mo na ni-register. The shocks, nakalimutan mo na, I think I registered on something like this, and then you forget it. So that's what I used to be able to track these things. If I've taken it, finished it, and so on. So
So
that's one way to
okay.
use some empty pages.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to your entrepreneurial journey, no? So you started with the physical paper planner. How did your business model evolve?
Our business model on an entrepreneurship level has been always be two pronged. One was
Okay.
advertising, so we have brand partners, and then
Okay.
number two is really the circulation. Um, in the years starting in the 15th year, and as we evolved, we actually grew into a B2B and a B2C business. The B2B business is wherein a lot of our brand partners would ask us to design planners for them, and then eventually we wanted to help Filipino creators or anyone who has content that they want to translate it to a journal. We also work with them to be able to bring it to life because we
Mm-hmm.
believe that we rise by lifting others. So
That's
we want
nice.
to
Yeah.
we want to be able to encourage more creators out there. So that's part of half of our business, and the other half is really designing products that we love. And I think that's really my joy. That sometimes we forget these things, right? But the pandemic reminded me na parang my joy really is designing products, designing and putting it into something very tangible that people can
Mm-hmm.
see and appreciate. And the goal of all the products that we design is that it should inspire action
Mm-hmm.
from the people who are using it. And how did we evolve? Kasi I guess naka-set up kami, do we have communities
Mm-hmm.
that have been supporting our products, because we've also been doing events for the past almost 15 years of our
Okay.
life. And what we did during this pandemic was just transfer it to virtual. So we
Okay.
did more online webinars, courses. We did FB lives. We did like various support groups wherein we just had the hangout session
Mm-hmm.
lang. Parang mga ganong activities, and that's more or less how we evolved. Our brand partner still wants to continue with us in terms of working with us in creating targeted campaigns to our targeted market, because we want to always bring like a balance na win-win situation. So
And your
with
target market is women, right? Your target,
women, for the
is there a
for the
specific age
for the
or
BDJ
type?
planner, it's The wide range is 20 to 40, but our
Okay.
average age is actually 27 years old. So these are the single women, working professionals helping to support their family. So what we promise them is that there's a way to be able to pursue your dreams while
Oh.
managing your responsibilities. Kasi the
Mm.
challenges in that age or even our age is that, but support ko yung family ko eh. May room pa ba for my own personal dreams? Eh,
Yes.
kailangan kong,
It's very typical Filipino, no? 'Di ba? Kasi
yes,
for Filipinos, it's very important we take care of our parents.
exactly, exactly. So minsan, because of these financial constraints and in a way limitation or demands or responsibilities, parang we turn away from what is really joyful to us. And what
Mm.
we're saying is, hindi naman abandon like your responsibilities, but figure out how to balance both because they're both very important. Your responsibilities to family, those are part of our values as human beings, as part of the Filipino culture. And then at
Yeah.
the same time, I don't think any parent or any family truly would want you to not be happy and not
Yes.
for you to fulfill your potential. Baka minsan lang they don't necessarily understand the
Mhm.
passion or the purpose of certain things. But I think deep inside, if they knew what was at stake,
Yeah.
which was your personal happiness, personal fulfillment, they will definitely support you.
Are there plans to have a digital platform for Belle de Jour?
Right now, we're investing a lot on social media platforms in terms of content. In terms of having a digital platform, definitely in the future, that's in the pipeline. That's really something that we want to be able to do. Our
Mhm.
goal in the next 10 years is to be able to reach 5 million people and help them create lives that they love. So it's really
Okay.
goes beyond any physical product, but rather
Mhm.
really developing tools, experiences, and communities to strengthen this mission. Because wala eh, this is really our purpose na and it's been solidified in this pandemic that we want to really just help people create lives that they love.
Okay, so you started with selling 1,500 planners, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what's your number like today?
Right now, we're around adding all bumaba na siya because of the pandemic, because of our
Okay.
clients. But I think overall, we still do at least around 100 to 150,000 planners a year. But
Wow.
because parang we have different kinds of planners. It's not just one BDJ planner. So we have for guys, we have for people trying to soul search, people trying to figure out what's next. We have for people traveling all over the Philippines, sustainability. So we really partner with different um, content creators to be able to develop these things. And our goal is to really have a planner for each
Mhm.
Filipino
So,
because it's not
who are your
sorry.
partners? Who are the content creators that you partnered up with?
We work with Where to Next also. We help them in terms of their planners. We also support Witty Saves the World. We have some coaches coming up soon that will be releasing more content. Our website, Crazy About Paper, we work with different Filipino artists and translate their design into
Mm.
practical design merchandise to help you be more creative and productive. So definitely the goals is to be able to really put more creativity and help people more productive, pandemic or not, and
Okay.
bring Filipino talent in the global level. So
What were your challenges in the past 15 years? What were your biggest challenges?
sobrang dami. But
I think all entrepreneurs ka na naman.
oo, parang there's so many things to mention and this pandemic is definitely like one for the books. To be honest, Janet, I was like sharing with some people, but I almost like decided like we should close this year, like that this will be the end. But I encountered also this quote that said, I didn't go this far to just end this far or this point or something like that. So parang like a shocks, oo nga, I didn't work this hard and survive all the challenges that I did in the past just to stop now. Biggest challenges, the funny challenge that we have in the first, I think it was our second year. I learned about production processes through this one. We say try to save money by doing two color printing in the insides of the planner. So let's say in January it would be pink, February it would be green, like watermelon colors. But because the production is manual, wherein they're sorting pages, they got confused with certain months. So they
No.
doubled up, let's say January, February, and then January again. And then we distributed to the bookstore and we distributed to the people. That was like crazy. I was pulling out stocks and I was apologizing. I was bashed online for being a scammer, but it was really, in a way, an honest mistake. But it taught me a lot of things like prioritizing the customers, um, and then at the same time understanding the production process even if it's outsourced, because how you design the product
Yeah.
will have an impact with production, so you have to understand it. So it's like a whole system that you have to be able to fix. So that was an important lesson that I appreciate, and I'm glad that I learned early on before things got more complicated. And I'm grateful for all the Bellas who bought that planner and just met up with me to have it replaced. And some didn't even mind that it was like the wrong date,
Double.
considering that it's a planner. And they just accepted the discount I offered for the following year. So I guess
Yeah.
the honesty, the vulnerability of it helped.
Okay.
So,
I
but
think
that
it's
was really tough.
uh, yeah, it will be very tough nga to do that. It's like doing a recall in the cars. So I'm gonna go back to planning, diba? So what do you have in store for 2021? What will make the planners different for 2021?
So the 2021 BDJ planner is I Grow with the Earth. And usually we conceptualize the planner like in December, January. So actually right now we're preparing already for 2022. But so we didn't expect the pandemic, but we were surprised that it was still very apt and bagay talaga siya. So we used Earth elements inside the planner, and using the 15th anniversary is crystals. So each month we featured an earth element, not the basic four elements of fire, water, but a variation of it. Like January talks about the volcano, so it's about igniting your fire. So we do
Okay.
have like the special pages for it. And at the same time, as we have done in the past 2 years, we actually have a QR code that you can use that's inside the planner that can help you fill up the pages. Because what we've learned is that sometimes nagkakaroon tayo ng mental block in writing things down,
Mm,
and we just need that support and additional push na how do I answer this, because I guess innate in us is also that fear of making a mistake. So we added that support wherein you can see videos and how you can fill it up. And of course, every month we have campaigns wherein we develop like content that will help people create the lives that they love. So for January, we're gearing up for this already, is 21 days of wellness. So it's a challenge that
okay.
it's a free challenge, so anyone can join. And we hope that after 21 days, you become more well, like well-being talaga, like the total package, not just health and dieting, but rather overall well-being. So we have the 21 days challenge, and we have like webinars
So
to
it's
be able
like
to
an
support this.
interactive planner. It's like an
Yes.
interactive planner.
That's
That's
why part of
nice.
our brand is really planner plus community. You don't get the full
Oh,
experience if you're just using the planner and not engaging with us online. So That's really part of our brand. If you want to be able to experience the fullness of our brand, you need to check us out online, check us out even as simple as the email marketing, because we do send a lot of tips on how to be able to manage your life and go back to what you love, go back to your
Mm-hmm.
joy, and how do you translate it to your day-to-day life, your day-to-day schedule, diba?
Okay. So you said that the BDJ planner is targeted to 27-year-old single female, but you also have planners for male and others. What is the full spectrum of products or planners that is going to be expected for 2021?
So we have, I think, 50 different kinds of products in our site. But the
Mm-hmm.
hero product is, of course, BDJ. The second one is
Mm-hmm.
Navi, your life navigator. So Navi, your life navigator, is all about living in the present. But the theme or like the concept is really about travel because navigator nga, 'di ba? Pero and
Mm-hmm.
then each month we feature different cities all over the world and we have a theme. So this year for 2021, the theme is a lighthouse. So different
Mm-hmm.
lighthouses all over the world. So it's very beautiful photos and that were digitally designed that looks really
Mm-hmm.
good. And then we gave like options like how to travel around the world virtually since right now it's something that's of a challenge post pandemic or not maybe mid pandemic, right?
Okay.
This the third planner is everything is possible. So this is our most introspective planner because it will ask you difficult questions about yourself, where you are.
Mm-hmm.
There's also like wellness wheel wherein you assess, like you grade yourself in terms of financial, career, personal, love, and so on, and asking you what really happened in 2020, so that when you have this understanding of the past, you're able to move forward towards the future. We also have the focus journal. The focus journal, if you don't want to be overwhelmed with all these special pages, it's all about being able to focus or meditate on one word per month. And we have like some guide questions there, and it will help you, I guess, in a way, just focus on something simple and not get overwhelmed. And but in the process, have better appreciation in your life also and design the life you love.
Okay. So where can they find these journals? Where can they buy it?
They can buy it at crazyaboutpaper.com or shop.ilovepdj.com.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you for 5 tips. If you were to give
Okay.
five important tips on how to successfully plan for a better 2021, what will it be?
Okay. The first step is really to connect to yourself, where you are, and no judgment. It means if you don't feel like you're in a good place, acknowledge that and that's okay. So number 1, just be honest and connect to yourself. Number 2 is always remembering the time that you felt successful and proud of yourself. And there will always be just this one moment. It doesn't mean na some people might say, wala akong success story eh. You have just one moment that made you happy. Number 3 is think about the things that bring you joy, that get you excited. What possibilities bring you excitement? Write this down. Number 4 is what I shared earlier. Write down at least 3 possibilities based on your answers in 1, 2, and 3. And then number 5, think about what you can do this month that can help you walk towards your desired possibility. So these are
Wow.
my tips for
Oh
your
wow, that's really
goal
great
setting.
tips.
I
That's
hope
really
you
great tips.
so everyone who's listening, I hope you take the time out during a weekend or during a work day or whatever it is, like 1 2 hours, just to try to answer the questions, these questions.
Thank you so much, Dar, for sharing your journey with us and your tips. So we have a special gift for everybody who's listening and watching this. Dar was kind enough to give us 3 BDJ planners and 3 Navi, and all you have to do, Dar, what do they have to do?
Share your lessons in the comment section below or on the side.
That's right. Um, you get the planner plus the membership to the community. And I'm super excited to see the planner and do my own planning as well, no? So Dar, where else can they see you? Is there something you want to promote? Please tell our viewers.
Just follow us at crazyaboutpaper.com or Crazy About Paper in Facebook, and of course BDJ Bus or Belle de Jour Power Planner Facebook page.
Okay, thank you, Dar. So it's time for me to share my own learnings and tips about planning. This is your best life in bullet points. On my end, the way I do my planning is I actually put the different roles that I want or that I cherish, like being a mom, a wife, and then I put the specific task that or specific goal that I want to accomplish for that week, and then I put that first on my plan for the week, and that's how I plan my week or my month and my day. Before I put in those little tasks or little things to do. So the other things I learned from Doris, of course, you need to be able to know yourself. Because sometimes we just go through the motions of planning and doing things without really knowing if we want to do it or not. And the other thing is, of course, I really love what she said about possibilities thinking. There's a lot of people who always limit themselves by saying na, hindi ko kaya to, I'm too old for this, and, I can't do this. This is actually one of the reasons why we put up Chic Driven. We've heard so many women saying, oh, I can't do this because I have kids. I can't do this because I'm married. But actually, you can do anything you want. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Please don't forget to follow us on Facebook and on Instagram at Chic Driven. And you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. All you have to do is hit that subscription and hit that notification button so that you know if we have new content on the channel. We're still on our 2021 rocking it. So we want to thank you for joining us. This has been Jeanette Ipapo-Tuason, and you're with Chic Chats, your best life in bullet points.